All right, everybody.
I'm going to stand with you so you don't feel alone.
We're all going to stand anyway. We're going to stand.
I guess you're right to say the Pledge of Allegiance again.
Yes.
How many times do we have to pledge of allegiance?
All right. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Stand if you can.
If you can,
You can.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The city clerk, will you call the roll?
Councilmember Sanders,
Present.
Councilmember Penna,
Present.
Councilmember Taylor,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Reed,
Here.
Mayor Whitman.
Here. Before we get started, city staff is requested to pull general business item I.1, discussion regarding the CVAG Good Neighbor Policy. This item will be brought before the council at a future meeting. Next, approval of the final agenda.
Move
Set-
adoption.
A second
Yeah, a second with the caveat of the one change that
of
you
one
just
of
announced.
I.1. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Against? No. The motion passed 5-0. Proclamations and presentations. We have two, items C1 and C2. C1 is Public Works Grant Update by Management Analyst Jill Moon, and C2 is Burtech Waste 2024 Year-End Review by Municipal Marketing Manager Clara Vera. So C1, Ms. Moon, welcome.
Good afternoon, all. I'm Jill Moon, Management Analyst for the City of Indian Wells. Today, I'll provide an update on project-related grants that supplement the Public Works Capital Improvement Program. We'll cover awarded grants, pending applications, and future grant opportunities. Since late 2022, we've been successful in securing over $8.2 million in grants. They include funding for floodplain management and drought-tolerant landscaping, Level 2 EV charging stations here at City Hall, street safety initiatives through the Safe Streets for All and SB 821 programs, and lastly, congressional grant funding for the Whitewater River Channel Lining Redesign Project. These grants provide supplemental funding for our capital improvement program.
And how much is the total?
It's $8.2 million.
8.2 million.
Yeah.
Thank you. Very good. Yeah.
Very good.
So pending grants, we're awaiting results for 2 grant applications for EV fast chargers at City Hall, possible funding via Caltrans for the Fairway sidewalk and bicycle and golf cart lanes throughout the community, and finally 2025 community project funding, which is additional congressional grant funding. Pending grant applications total approximately $6.6 million. Looking ahead, we plan to apply for the Safe Streets for All implementation grant, which targets Highway 111 and Fred Waring safety improvements, and additional SB 821 funding for safety improvements on Rancho Palmares and Cook Streets. So in total, awarded grants amount to approximately $8.2 million, with $6.6 million pending. That concludes the update. Thank you for your attention. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Does anybody have a question for Ms. Moon?
Yes, you bring us good news. Good job.
Thank you.
Don't bring bad news. Just
I have a question about the, does anybody else have a question?
Please.
Council member? Go ahead.
No, I'm curious. How many of these grants that you have presented here are actually applied for by the city as written grants versus, let's say, a request to Calvert for assistance in securing funding?
Well, I guess 5 of them. Let me look here. So the 5 are what city did, and then Calvert Community Project Funding. That's the one.
And so those are actual written grant proposals that go into a
That is-
system and are responded to accordingly. Okay.
And even the community project funding, the congressional grant funding, we did have to submit an application and apply for that.
And in order to, just out of curiosity, how long does it take for a grant to be responded to once submitted? Are these applications from 2024 that were responded to in 2024 and awarded in 24?
Actually, no, it varies each grant, but the first one was 2022, which was the floodplain management one. But it could take months before we hear anything. So this is just from 2022 to date.
I see, 2022 to date.
Yeah.
And then the other question I had was, how many grants were submitted during that time frame? Do you have a sense?
I would say 8, and we were not successful with 2 of them, but we do have to vet them out.
Great.
Yeah.
Those are the questions I have. Thank you.
I had one question for you. The S4SA, SS, or what, is that what that is?
Safe Street for All. Yeah.
Okay, is it, oh, SS, Safe Streets for All.
Yeah.
Is that a federal grant for the Highway 111 and Fred Waring?
Yes, the Safe Streets for All is a federal grant.
Federal grant,
Yeah.
okay. All right, that's all I got.
All right.
Well, what is the status of the federal grants? these
That one,
days?
we don't know. I know there was a pause, but then they put a hold on the pause. So we're just proceeding as is until we're told not to per program.
I was going to ask you that question.
Yeah. Anybody else have a question for Ms. Moon? Thank you very much, Ms. Moon.
Thank
Great
you.
job. All right, Burtek.
Good afternoon, Mayor, distinguished council members, members of the community. My name is Clara Vera, and it is very great to be with you guys today. Seems fitting that we're going to be talking trash all day today. No pun intended. It's a great conversation to have. But here today, we're just really looking to review 2024 and the great work that we do together as a team with Ken and Jill, and everybody here is distinguished and worthy of great mention here of what we do. And you'll get to see that here in the next few slides. We're going to talk about all of the great programs and services that all of our residents use and our commercial businesses. And it is really a distinct pleasure to look at that together with you. So if I can. Maybe it needs another espresso like I do. Okay.
There you go. So let's do advance there.
Okay, so we will do 2024 year in review, a little agenda for you guys. We'll review all of the public education and outreach. We'll talk a little bit about SB 1383 compliance, Senate Bill 1383. We are in our 3rd year of that, and then we'll talk about some resources. So 2024 year in review, we'll talk about organics, recycling, and overview programs. Residents helped divert 485 tons, 0.56 tons of organic materials from going to the landfill. Great job. Businesses helped divert 5,952 tons and some change from the landfill. Those are really exciting numbers. Recycling, residents helped divert 702 tons and some change of recycling from headed over to the landfills. Businesses also doing their part, 814 and some change tons diverted from going to the landfill. City offers free residential curbside household hazardous waste program, and 323 residents took advantage of that free program, making sure that we keep not only our communities clean and beautiful, but absolutely safe from fires. So not only protecting our communities, but also helping protect our trash truck drivers. Bulky item pickups, I'm sure a lot of our friends here are familiar with that. We had 1,599 residents take advantage of our free bulky item pickup.
I did it twice. Am I counted twice?
You are counted twice. So every time that you call into our call center or do an email, we log all of those. You know, it's all part of the different California requirements that we are required to record keep and log and monitor these programs. So 1,599 residents took advantage of that program, also keeping the community clean and beautiful. Recycling outreach, it's one of the many, many components that the city is tasked with providing our businesses under SB 1383 and the array of different assembly bills on recycling for commercial businesses. We provided 226 outreach activities to the 49 or so businesses that we have here in the city of Indian Wells. And that means anything from a site visit to a waste assessment to a waiver assessment to providing the annual education that we are required to provide on behalf of the city, that the city is required to provide on behalf of Senate Bill 1383. 226 times we visited our businesses and our multifamily properties. 2024 highlights 121 mattresses kept off the streets. 210 white goods, that's metal goods, washers, refrigerators, dryers, those types of goods. 29 sharp containers were taken advantage of, and 20 gallons of used motor oil were kept from going down the drain and recycled properly.
And is that are those all free services too?
Yes, all of these are services that you provide to mostly your residents. The business numbers that you saw in there, they have different programs, but yes, all of these wonderful services and programs are provided free, included in the rate, to all of our residents. Public education and outreach, we continue to provide newsletters, residential and commercial. We did do last year an oversized postcard that had a big apple in the front of it if you received it. That's also part of Senate Bill 1383 that the city is required to annually notice our residents and let them know that it is mandatory to recycle your organics and dry products. We also do radio and newspaper public service announcements, such as the Christmas tree ad that you see here. And this is our welcome packet that we provide to all of new residents. Events, I did 2025 events here just to do it as a plug if anybody's listening or here. We provide 4 annual shredding events. We are very happy to see our friends come by the Pertex Center and take care of their shredding. We just had one January 25th. The next one is April 26th, July 26th, and October 25th. Please come by, bring your shredding, and we'll make sure to take care of it. Social media,
And what's the address of that?
that's at our Pertec facility on Cook, off of Cook,
On Hoadley?
on Hoveley. Thank you. Sounds like you've been there before.
Been there.
Thank you. We're also looking to do some initiatives with the city to increase our awareness of making sure that residents take advantage of the household hazardous waste. We have seen an increase last year in trash truck debris fires, which means that we are putting the wrong items into our bins, which causes our trash trucks debris to catch on fire. And with the heightened awareness of everything that's going on with the fires and all of the time, to be quite honest with you, it's important for us to try to get that information and get ahead of that. New residents also who come and move into the wonderful city of Indian Wells receive a welcome kit that helps them kick off their recycling journey and environmental stewards of keeping our beautiful city clean and beautiful. And we provide these kits to our residents, and we provided in 2024 13 of those. 13 of those actually called us to receive their free welcome food scrap kitchen welcome kit. So we provided 13 new kitchen pails to those residents. Big slide here for us, very proud slide for the city and for ourselves. Under Senate Bill 1383 compliance, the city is required to monitor and to implement and to programize almost 13 regulatory sections within this legislation. And this is just one component of everything that we have to do on a monthly basis. And you are at, well, you have been, but this officially tells you that in 2024, you are 100% compliant with your businesses and a lot of those programs under Senate Bill 1383. So big kudos. It's a big thing to do, and it is something to celebrate to be 100% compliance, which is a showcase to the leadership here in the city and to the partnership that you have with the businesses. We also take care of the recovered organic waste product, which means that in one of those regulatory languages, the city is required to procure X amount of compost used in the cities. And working with Mihai, Ken, and Jill and everybody, we were able to secure and comply with that one of many components, which makes the city beautiful and it's laid out and around. And again, SB 1383 is ongoing. Just because we've implemented it doesn't mean that we're not continuously required to report up to the state almost monthly, annually. And here working with the city, there's some outstanding programs, some resources. Anybody's available to go onto our website, the city's website, or call us and we're happy to mail you, or you can download some of these items. And with that said, thank you for allowing me to do a little trash talk with you guys. And I know there were some items about some of the senior communities. I do have my team headed out there sometime today to put some eyes on it and make sure that we can provide some support.
Right, thank you, Clara.
You're welcome.
And we do have some questions.
Sure.
Councilmember Reed.
First of all, congratulations to our business community, presumably primarily restaurants, for 100% compliance on organics. And that's great news, and I'm glad to hear that. Do you have an estimate as to what the percentage of the residents are complying with the law?
You are 100% compliant.
No. No, 100% of the residents? are complying?
100% of the residents, and I'll give you some quick stats, numbers for all of us that like numbers. From 2023 to 2024, your participation rate increase in residential organics was 15.1%. 2022 to 2023, we were well over 200% participation in that first initial year, which is remarkable, which is a testament to the communications, to the outreach, and to the natural environmental stewardship that you have here with the residents. And I would say that over the scale of the 3 years, we're looking at about 136% participation rate.
Thank you.
Councilmember
welcome.
Sanders.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, just a comment. I want to give a shout out to your drivers and
Thank you.
swampers. They're great guys, very friendly, and God, do they work hard. I mean, they are running all day long, and they do a great job.
We appreciate that. I'll make sure to send that feedback back. All good trash talk is good talk, and we appreciate every kudos. And we are committed to being in your community and being part of your homes, and that's really what makes us unique and special.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yes. Anybody else?
Yeah, just to lighten the mood a little bit, we all know what a dumpster fire is, the proverbial dumpster fire. It has its own place. But I do have a question. How does a trash truck catch on fire? Is it spontaneous combustion with soiled rags, oily rags, solvents?
Sure. So basically, our trucks are huge compactors.
Right.
And when somebody puts in items like hot coals, batteries, pool chemicals, which are the 3 big ones that we get out here in the valley, when you place any one of those items into any one of your containers, what is happening is that you are compressing the material, which causes combustion, which causes the debris in the rest of the fire, the paper debris, whatever debris are in there, to cause that fire. And so it's not that the trash truck was on fire, it was the illegal items that we placed into our carts that caused the fire.
And with that the hazardous waste pickup, that's paint cans, solvents.
Paint cans, batteries, sharps, used oil, filters, pesticides. If you did a little remod project maybe in your kitchen, you have some old paint, absolutely any one of those items.
I don't know of any other city that does that. Every city that I've ever lived in my entire life, you had to actually take those products to a waste facility, put them in your car, hope that the paint doesn't spill
Flip
all
over.
spill everywhere. And for all those who are changing their oil in their garage, I don't know if there's anyone in here, but that's pretty amazing that we have that service here in our city. Thank you.
Yes, and 323 residents took advantage of that last year.
That's great. Thank you, Claire.
Thank you. You guys have a great afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next are public comments. Members of the public who wish to speak on consent items or items not listed on the agenda may do so at this time. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. Speakers will be alerted when their time is up and are then to return to their seats. That's harsh. And no further comments will be permitted. Please note that while the City Council values your comments, the Council cannot respond or take action on matters not listed on the agenda until the matter may appear on the forthcoming agenda. Madam Clerk, do we have any public comments?
Yes, I do have one. And that would be Sam Rich.
Sam Rich. Greetings, Mr. Rich.
My name is Sam Rich. I have 2 houses in Indian Wells. And about September of 2022, I called the city, said they had a program to remove my lawn and replace it with rock. And I signed up. I went up to water. They sent me over to the water company, which I did, and signed up for their Coachella Valley Water District and in the City of Indian Wells turf program, rebate program. About 3 days before my final inspection of that program, I got a letter of violation from the City of Indian Wells. They said I violated 60080 of landscaping. Indian Wells at that time had 2 landscaping procedures, and they conflict with each other. I don't know why that happened, but that's what it is. I asked them, what can I do to fix this? They said they needed more plants in my yard. And I had to have another plan with the city itself rather than the water company, which I did. I put 2 of them together, and you'll see right here, they approved it. So I went out and bought the plants, put the water in, and when I was done, they gave me another letter of violation. They said, we changed our mind. We want you to do now. We want to go to the 085, the new landscaping procedure, which I said I didn't want to do that, but so they started fining me again. I've been fined for almost $3,000. Then I agreed to go ahead and do the 085. I started off, I have over 159 plants in one yard. I forget what the other yard has. And they want me now to get a licensed landscape architect to come up with a plan that shows where all the plants I planted in one yard, not the other one. I said, I already have a landscaping permit, or not a landscaping permit, a licensed landscape architect's design, which has all been approved with the planning department. They said, well, because you've changed some of the plans, we want you to hire another one and get that just for where you put the plants. I don't think that's right. I don't see any point in it. I can do that myself. I've already listed all the plants that have been approved by the city. And I have numbers where I can put it on a chart and show exactly where those things are. Why have to spend $5,000 to $8,000 on a licensed landscape to do this? I'm already into $30,000 into this. I see my plan is up. So thanks for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rich.
All I wanted to do, my final thing is to make this city look pretty. And I think I've done all my thing, but I'm not having any cooperation from the planning department.
Thank you, Mr. Rich. Can we continue to look into this issue?
We certainly can continue those discussions.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk. No more. City Manager reports. City Manager, any reports?
I do. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of City Council. I have a few items for you today. As you may notice, there's a little bit of moisture in the air outside and expected maybe for more rain tomorrow. So that's created a slight delay in our city slurry schedule. Work schedule for today and tomorrow has been rescheduled for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Visit the city's website for more details on specific street impacts. So if the residents are interested. Second is I want to give kudos to the Public Works maintenance crew. They've been out there working at the Indian Wells Golf Resort doing pre-construction grading of the players course on a mound between holes number 4 and 16 of the players course. This is an area as part of the redesign that tribal representatives expressed some concern that there may be artifacts present. Because of this concern, the city was proactive in having tribal monitors, public works staff, and TRUD employees do grading now to ensure any tribal artifacts that are found are protected and relocated in accordance to tribal protocols. To date, no artifacts have been found, and the grading is expected to be completed next week, which is prior to the kickoff of the redesign. So this will help save some time and money on the players course redesign. So kudos to that team for doing this and getting that all done. So with that, the last item is just finally, please save the date. The groundbreaking for the new players course is March 5th at 10 a.m. at the golf resort. And that concludes my updates.
Okay, so the kickoff is at the golf resort. Where is it? In the main lobby or outside in the
No,
back?
we'll do a groundbreaking over at the players course, or hole number 1, which will soon become 18.
Okay, thank you. City Attorney, any reports?
Yes, Mayor and Council, it's good to be with you. For the benefit of the public, as the council knows, on January 30th, the council met earlier in the day at 10:30, I think it was, for the council meeting, and afterwards adjourned to closed session. In the meantime, the Planning Commission meeting started at 1:30 in Chambers, and when our closed session let out, later, we opened the doors to report out closed session, and no one was there. So, in an extra effort to be transparent, I am reporting out now again that no action was taken in the January 30th closed session that needs to be reported under the Brown Act, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions for the city manager or the city attorney? Okay, we are going to go to the consent calendar. We have pulled one item. Oh, no.
Actually, Bruce, I do have a question.
Okay.
So to clarify, we are done with the artifact discovery process with the redesign?
No, so what we're just talking about is there was a particular mound in
Oh, okay.
question by the tribe. And so that work is almost completed. We will still have monitors out there when you have large grading projects of this magnitude in the valley. It's not uncommon to have monitors, so we'll have monitors on the rest of the project as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we go to the consent calendar.
Move approval.
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes 5-0. To public hearings. For each of the items listed under public hearing items, the public will be provided an opportunity to speak. After a staff report is provided, the mayor will open the public hearing. At that time, the applicant will be allowed 5 minutes to make a presentation on the case. Members of the public will then be allowed 3 minutes each to speak, unless there are a number of persons wishing to speak, and then the mayor may deviate from that and allow 2 minutes. The city council may ask the speakers questions relative to the case and the testimony provided. The question period will not count against your time limit. After all persons have spoken, the applicant will be allowed 3 minutes to summarize or rebut any public testimony. The mayor will then close the public hearing portion of the hearing and deliberate the matter. So first we go to staff presentation. H1 is the resolution certifying the environmental impact report for general plan update. Resolution adopting the certified PEIR general plan amendment number 2025-01 for the general plan, and ordinance approving the certified PEIR zone map amendment number 2025-01. So we will open the public hearing and take a staff report.
Yeah.
John Berg.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. John Berg, your Community Development Director. So the item before you, the city's general plan update. The general plan is often referred to as the city's constitution. It serves as the primary legal document governing growth, development, and resource management issues in the city. Ultimately, it represents the community's vision for how the city will evolve over time while maintaining the community goals, objectives, and the quality of life for the residents. The Indian Wells General Plan was last updated comprehensively in 1996. Since that time, we've made some minor updates to it just to address some specific concerns and needs, but including updates to the regular updates to the housing element, which is required every 8 years. However, now a full comprehensive update is necessary to align with the current state requirements, local priorities, and emerging trends. So in May 2020, the City Council authorized a professional service agreement with De Novo Planning Group to lead the efforts in developing our comprehensive general plan update for the city. Staff has been working diligently with De Novo and also the community members to prepare the general plan update that is in front of you guys today. The Planning Commission actually reviewed the general plan update at their January 30th meeting, and they recommended approval to the City Council. We're happy to bring that recommendation from the Planning Commission forward to you today. And at this time, I'd like to invite Amanda Tropiano from De Novo Planning Group to give a presentation, and staff will be available for questions afterwards.
Thank you, Mr. Berg. Ms. Tropiano, hello, how are you?
Good afternoon, everyone. Mr. Mayor, council members, thank you for having me back. Excited to be here today to present an overview of your comprehensive general plan update, the first one in the better part of 20 years. So with that, our presentation today is going to focus on an overview of the work effort and the schedule to complete this update, our approach to developing the general plan policy document, an overview of the environmental review conducted, and next steps regarding implementation. As you may remember, and was introduced by Mr. Berg, this effort started in mid-2020 with an analysis of existing conditions and collection of background data. We also hosted a series of visioning workshops with your community to solicit input on key topics of local importance. As you're aware, and you've seen me here before you, we did pivot in 2022 to focus the effort of the general plan update specific to the housing element, which is required by state law to be updated on an 8-year cycle. And we really focused from 2022 to 2024 on preparing a housing element that was ultimately adopted by the City Council and certified by the Department of Housing and Community Development at the state of California. With that certification, we had the confidence to move forward with completing the remaining components of the comprehensive general plan update. That effort took the better part of 2024, and then here in front of you in early 2025 to present the results of that work for your consideration. In developing the general plan policy document, we really looked at an analysis of existing conditions and a few other components. So as was previously mentioned, your general plan was last comprehensively updated in 1996. General plans have a longevity of about 20 years or so, so it's timely and current to be reevaluating these topics on a comprehensive basis. As was mentioned, a general plan really articulates a long-term vision for the future strategy and decision-making for local communities. And it talks about a lot of different topics from mobility, transportation, land use, public safety, public infrastructure, economic development, fiscal sustainability, and those topics. But ultimately, it sets forward a plan for elected and appointed decision makers and for the public to really understand what the city's long-term vision is. In developing the policy document, we kind of consider 3 key elements. The first and foremost is input provided by your public. So while every city and county in California has to have a general plan, each one is customized. So this is developed specifically for Indian Wells, reflecting issues of local interest. We also need to consider state requirements, new legislative topics that have to be evaluated as part of your general plan, and then really an analysis of existing conditions. So what's worked well, what should be preserved and protected, what future opportunities are available. In soliciting the public feedback, we have a dedicated project website. It continues to be maintained. Everything we're discussing here today is available on the website at indianwells.generalplan.org. We also have facilitated a number of digital engagement opportunities with your community through direct social media advertisements, emails, and online surveys. The city also facilitated a direct hard copy mailer that went to the inbox of every physical mailbox here in the city. We hosted 4 community workshops, facilitated ongoing stakeholder consultations with property owners, businesses, and interested residents, hosted a scoping meeting specific to the environmental impact report, facilitated a 45-day public review of both the general plan and environmental documents, and then ongoing presentations to the Planning Commission and to the City Council, including the Planning Commission's review and recommendation for approval 2 weeks ago. In considering the state requirements, we do need to consider the California Government Code, which describes the topics that need to be addressed in a general plan. Since 1996, and your plan was last updated, there have, of course, been a number of changes to the requirements of topics to be included in a general plan. In general, these topics revolve around issues related to housing, which are largely reflected in your housing element chapter. Also, issues related to environmental justice, transportation, and climate change and resiliency planning. Failure to address these topics adequately in your general plan can potentially subject the city to legal issues or non-compliance with the government code. So taking the opportunity to make sure that your update adequately addresses all of these legislative requirements just ensures that the city continues to comply with those requirements. As mentioned, we also did an analysis of your existing conditions. These are presented as a series of individual topic papers or white papers available on the website for consideration. These identify the regulatory framework that we're working within each of these topic areas. They also disclose an analysis of existing conditions, such as with collection of our noise or traffic measurements. It includes a series of maps, tables, and narratives to really describe the success of those existing conditions. It's a companion document to your general plan. It's separate, but intended to be read alongside your policy document. This structure really allows your policy plan, the goals, actions, and policies of your general plan to be really streamlined and easy to understand, easy to access, and having that narrative provided in a separate companion document. So at the beginning of your general plan, we really set out an understanding of the issues that make Indian Wells such a unique spot to live, work, and visit. And those components really revolve around creating and sustaining a high quality of life, recognizing the city's heritage and community character, celebrating your activities, recreation, and open space facilities, recognizing the city's exceptional services and public amenities, and the cooperation of working together with your community to realize these values. The general plan is essentially structured in a series of chapters or elements. As previously described, these do cover all of the state required topics, including land use, circulation, conservation, open space, noise, public safety, and housing. The city has also elected to include 2 optional topics that focuses specifically on economic development, which is its own chapter or element of the general plan, as well as topics related to community design and the aesthetic character of the community, and we discussed that as part of your community development element. Each element includes 3 key components. The first is a series of goals. These are statements of what you want to be true in the future. They may already be true now. They are something you want to be true in the future. And this is really something that you're striving to achieve through implementation of your policies. Policies are generally starting with a verb. As I stand up here, I kind of feel a bit like a language arts teacher or an English teacher. That basically means the verb at the beginning of your policy describes the city's commitment in implementing that idea. So there's obviously a difference between encouraging something and requiring something, collaborating with someone and requiring something. So that verb really sets the tone for what the city's role is in implementing that policy. And then this isn't just a plan that's intended to sit on the shelf. There are a series of actions associated with each of those topic areas, really serving as a to-do guide for city staff to help ensure that the values described in the general plan are realized. An environmental impact report was prepared for this project. You may hear me refer to it as an EIR. An EIR is really an informational document that serves to disclose the potential environmental effects of implementing a project. So here, our project is your general plan policy document. Sometimes you might be familiar with an EIR evaluating, development of a building. I want to be clear here that this particular project does not approve or entitle any specific project or development. The project here is your policy document and the goals, actions, and policies contained therein. The EIR identifies ways to potentially avoid or lessen a project's significant environmental impacts. And again, it provides an opportunity for the public to consider these impacts and provide comments that the city needs to consider as part of their environmental review. It does not advocate or promote the project, and no specific development projects are proposed or approved as part of this general plan update or evaluated as part of this environmental impact report. Any subsequent projects where actual development sticks in the ground will happen are required to complete their own environmental review as appropriate and required by the government code and gone through the city's standard procedures for public review and consideration. Preparation of this EIR really started with an opportunity for the public to comment through our notice of preparation. That public comment period was 30 days. Based on those comments, we prepared a draft environmental impact report, which was circulated alongside the policy document for 45 days. Based on that feedback, preparation of a final environmental impact report and a series of accompanying documents that are all provided as attachments to your staff report today. Most environmental topics described in the EIR have no impact or a less than significant impact with the implementation of your general plan policies and actions. Meaning if you do what you say you're going to do in the general plan, that topic doesn't have any significant or unavoidable impacts. However, there are 3 topic areas with significant and unavoidable impacts associated with agricultural and forestry resources, transportation, and irreversible effects. As a practitioner of general plan updates throughout the state, these are fairly common issues to be identified through this environmental review, meaning that given the scope and scale of a policy document that looks forward 20 years, it's often common that there are significant and unavoidable impacts to be considered alongside this work. In reviewing the draft environmental impact report, the city did receive 4 comment letters, and we have reviewed those comment letters and responded to them accordingly. Those responses are included as part of the final EIR comment package. We have analyzed those letters and find that they do not result in a new impact or a substantial increase in the severity of an environmental impact that was already analyzed and disclosed in the draft EIR, and thus does not warrant a significant modification, change, or recirculation of the environmental review. So with that, I'll reintroduce Mr. Berg to present staff's recommendation.
Thank you, Ms. Strobiano.
Thank you, Amanda. So with that, staff is recommending that council opens the public hearing, takes public testimony, closes the public hearing, adopts the resolution to certify the final environmental impact report, including adopting the environmental findings, statement of overriding considerations, the mitigation monitoring and reporting program pursuant to the CEQA. You also recommend that you adopt the resolution approving general plan amendment number 2025-01 for their comprehensive update to the city's general plan and approving the ordinance to adopt the zone map amendment number 2025-01 and introduce that ordinance approving the amendments to the city's official zoning map by rezoning certain parcels of land to be consistent with the resort commercial land use designation in the general plan, and approve the ordinance to be brought back for a second reading and adoption at the next council meeting. That concludes staff's presentation. I am available for any comments or questions, and I do have consultants here as well.
Any questions from the council?
It's quite a document.
It's an important document.
It's really quite a document. I urge everyone to read it. Like a scintillating Tom Clancy novel. Page turner.
Any other comments? All right.
There's-
Going to open.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
You wanna do-
You're about to invite public testimony. Yeah, good. Thank you.
I'm going to open the public hearing. Anybody signed up to make a public comment, Ms. City Clerk?
No public comments were received.
Then we will close the public hearing. And At this point, then, we are here to deliberate and to um,
Decide.
discuss and decide.
Well, for purposes of discussion, I move staff recommendation.
I'll second the motion, and I'd just like to comment, over the course of my professional career, I've dealt with, I've lost count, but hundreds of environmental impact reports and general plan amendments, zone changes, and so forth. And I just want to share with my council colleagues and the public, I think this is a very good set of documents. It's very well done.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Let's do a roll call.
Was there any further discussion?
Any further discussion?
Thank you.
No.
Nope.
Let's do a roll call.
Councilmember Sanders,
Yes.
Councilmember Penna,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Reed,
Yes.
Mayor Whitman.
Yes. The resolution, the motions and the resolutions are adopted, 5-0. Close the hearing. All right. General business, thank you,
Thank you and
De
congratulations.
Novo. Thank you.
A journey done.
For general business, we, just as a reminder, we have pulled I.1, the discussion regarding the adoption of a model resolution establishing a good neighbor policy focused on homelessness for a future meeting. That being said, the mayor will call upon members of the public to address the council regarding the agenda item being considered after staff presentation. After the public has provided comment, the item is closed to further comment and brought to the council for discussion and action. So we will go to I.2, consideration of potential local transactions and use sales tax ballot measure. Mr. McCarthy.
Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. For your consideration today is the option to consider a sales tax ballot measure. This local measure will help generate additional revenue to offset rising public safety costs. As I've included in my staff report today, police costs are projected to rise 19% through 2026, representing approximately a $1.1 million increase to the budget. And similarly, fire service costs are looking at similar increases due to staffing changes mandated by CAL FIRE. And that cost is approximately an additional $900,000 a year in costs.
Wow.
To help offset these costs, the Finance Committee is recommending a 1% local sales tax measure, which in and of itself is expected to generate $2 million annually. And when I took a look at our historical trends, the way our sales tax revenues are come into the city, tourists themselves pay about 80% of those taxes, about 1.6 million as it's presented to you today. And the resident share will pay about 20%, about 400,000, and most of that is from use at our local restaurants. 16 cities in Riverside County have already adopted similar tax measures, including local cities, including Cathedral City, Coachella, Indio, La Quinta, Palm Desert, and of course, Palm Springs. The City Council has 3 options for you to consider today. The first option is to approve the Finance Committee's recommendation to begin exploring the possibility of a sales tax measure. Now, this incorporates 2 different spots, I think. At first is the idea of us authorizing us to seek bids, form an RFP and seek bids for polling services and educational outreach services. Before we commit to going forward, we want to know how much this is going to cost. Secondly, we're very interested in resident and citizen engagement. We want to know what the citizens think about this as well, which would be the implementation. Once we get the polling cost RFP completed, we would go out to the public and conduct this poll of all the residents in Indian Wells to see about how they felt about the matter. Your other option, your second option today, is to simply decline consideration of the tax measure today, and we'll just move on to the next item. Or third, if you would like, provide alternative direction to us as well. This concludes my presentation. Our Finance Committee and City staff are available for any questions you may have, and I say thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we would have public comments. Any public comments on this item?
No comments received.
Okay, it's time for council to discuss and decide. Yes, sir. Councilmember Reed.
As a member of the Finance Committee, I want to make it clear that this is not authorizing to go forward with anything other than a poll and an outline by a professional consultant to handle an educational campaign. As our finance director indicated, we want to know what the people think. We also want to know what this would probably cost in order to be successful. And do we had I should know this, but I have not looked at the staff report in a long time. Is there a cap on the amount of money that you're asking to spend?
No, sir. Based on the last RFP we did for polling services with the fire tax last year, staff is estimating somewhere between $25,000 and $35,000. So if council would like us to proceed, I think we could do it with a $35,000 cap, but I still want to do the RFP and get the best bid I can.
Of course, of course. All right. Well, given that, for purpose of discussion, I will move that we adopt option number one, to go forward with getting more information and authorizing expenditures up to $35,000.
Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion, with the caveat that this is not a motion to approve going forward with the sales tax, putting it on the ballot. It's an information gathering kind of exercise. One thing that I think we need to generate some data on revolves around our public safety costs. Repeatedly, we are hearing from the sheriff's department that they are having trouble getting qualified recruits to serve as deputy sheriffs. And in order to be competitive in the marketplace, the only variable that the sheriff's department has to work with is salary. So it's likely, in fact, I can just make a prediction that those costs are going to go up, and they're probably going to go up pretty dramatically. So if we can get from the sheriff's department some prognostication on what the future looks like in terms of salaries and how that affects our contract costs with the sheriff's department. The second issue, and this is born of some experience I had in a prior life, I think it's inevitable that the fire service is going to come to us and tell us that we need to put 4 firemen on an engine. So that will ultimately result in a significant increase in the cost of personnel for the fire department, and that gets passed right on to us. So I'd like some good information from the fire service in terms of how they see that evolving. That's it.
So you are seconding the first
Yes.
recommendation of the Finance Committee?
I am.
Okay. Any other comment, Mr. Penna?
My only comment is to move forward with this. The polling with the residents is top priority for me. public safety is something I ran on to be up here on this council, and if we fall short, then we're falling short with our residents. So this is a very important measure to discover. That's all I have to say.
Dr. Taylor, any comment?
No, no comment.
Okay, so the motion is to move forward with polling and other informational endeavors as recommended by the Finance Committee. It's been seconded and discussed. So now, should we poll on this one? All in favor? Aye.
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 Against? None.
Thank
Alright.
you, Mayor.
I'm not
Council.
against, I'm aye. So
Huh?
I said I'm aye, not against.
Aye. The motion passes 5-0. Okay, next is the item I.3, approval of design enhancements as part of the Players Course redesign. Staff presentation. Mr. City Manager?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of City Council. As part of the Players Course redesign, the City Council delegated the selection of design enhancements to the Golf Resort Advisory Committee. This includes new course equipment of tee markers, flag sticks, and flags, of which we're going to be presenting to the City Council for discussion and perhaps approval today. In addition, we're going to be talking a little bit about bunker stand upgrades and pavilion area enhancements as part of this discussion. And I also have Nick Leiter and others from Truon here to answer any questions we may have. So first, let's talk about new tee markers, flag sticks, and flags. These were presented at the recent Golf Resort Advisory Committee and was unanimously approved, the designs as presented. The flags will be white with the city's branded logo with this Cabernet color. Flag sticks will be black and white. And tee marker design is on the screen. It will be made out of metal and painted to the designated various tee colors. This project will be funded through funding already committed to the Players Course project and also part of the operation costs of the Golf Resort budget. In addition, the City Council the City Council approved some funding to do some pavilion area enhancements, design work that was done by Chris Herman of Herman Design Group. He was tasked to provide a site plan for potential enhancements to the area between the players and celebrity courses, as well as the area around the pavilion. Chris Herman met with Truon staff and John Folk to incorporate design features to complement John Folk's design to enhance the area around the pavilion and the connectivity of the two golf courses. These proposed enhancements do not alter the previously approved golf course redesign of the Players Course, Players Putting Green, Short Game Course, or the Fire Road itself. So the proposed enhancements include the removal of the cart path from Celebrity 9 to the bridge. This is being done intentionally to force folks to go by the Fairway Grill and hopefully spend money at the Fairway Grill rather than taking a shortcut across the bridge. This also gives the opportunity for
Can't we just make it a toll bridge? Wouldn't that be?
we certainly may. Part of this is also to expand this area here as well. And as part of this concept that Chris Herman provided, we've left the putting green area here. We're going to have some further discussion with John Folk and Chris Herman if we do move forward with this project, because Truon has found that space is very valuable for wedding spaces. So there's a discussion to move the putting green for the celebrity course just up a little bit higher on the design there, or just above that yellow area. In addition to the change in the routing, there is the planned location for the clock. Okay, there it is. Kevin, I think your pointer just died on me. All right, I will do my best to describe it. The location of the new four-sided clock will be on the grass area just across from the Fairway Grill, just to the south of the pavilion where the current putting green is. In addition, there is a enhanced landscaping separating the Fire Road from the pavilion that you see there in yellow. There is a new short hedge that is being proposed to delineate the pavilion special event grass to provide added privacy for those hosting events at the pavilion And again, they'll be a few feet high, but not too high to block the views of the mountains. There is the potential to incorporate public art at the gateway just to the north of the bridge there. You see a small little round planter there. And at the Golf Resort Advisory Committee meeting, there was a discussion that perhaps instead of public art, there is a digital reader board there that can talk about, you know, the happenings at the course that day, welcoming folks to a wedding or a special event at the pavilion and whatnot. So we'll be having further discussions on what exactly that space is eligible for, and bring that back to the Golf Advisory Committee and eventually a recommendation to the City Council. There's also, you'll see to the just to the east of the pavilion, a purple canopy. Both Troon and Mr. Herman think it'd be a great opportunity that in the future, not part of this project, perhaps a future phase, is to create a little larger entertaining patio for the pavilion to create that connectivity between the pavilion and the event space, and to have somewhat of an awning there. We're not proposing to do that at this time because we are talking about doing some insulation of the pavilion, so that way we have opportunity then in the hotter months to perhaps rent out the pavilion. So that will be a future project, perhaps in the next year or two. Let's see, I think that's it for the pavilion. And if approved, staff will work with Troon to incorporate these concepts into design enhancements. And Troon staff will also examine the existing budget to include many of the items in there, but we also have a separate budget that the council approved as part of the overall project budget for the redesign. So any additional costs outside of those scopes, we'll be sure to bring back to the City Council for your consideration before approving any change orders to the project. Let me talk real quick before I go to the recommendations, talk a little bit about sand.
Do you want to talk about the first?
Sure, let's do that first. We'll go to the sand next.
About the first recommended action first before we get to the sand. Is that?
We can, or we can talk about sand, whatever you would like to, the order of the council. You want to talk about the items here before you first? Is that what you're saying?
And have a separate vote on either one,
Certainly.
on each one.
So before you is the news course equipment as presented and approved by the Golf Resort Advisory Committee.
Any discussion?
Why is Troon's name on there?
I think that's a design feature they added on there.
Can we take it out?
If you wish to do so.
Are they paying for it?
Nick and Robin are there. They're not objecting. So if we wish to make that a change.
Let's make it a change.
Well, unless they want to pay for it. I mean, you know, it's just free
Sponsorship.
If you'd like, I could take that back to Troon if they're willing to sponsor the new flags. We'll leave it on there, or do you want it off?
Well, look, I don't play golf. I'm not going to see it. I just think it looks cheesy.
I would say any motion, and I guess I can make the motion to approve the staff recommended enhancements without the Troon logo on our flag.
Absolutely.
Second the motion.
All in favor?
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So as it was described here, the design enhancements are still part of the approved budget, right? They're not it's not increasing the budget of the overall.
At this time, correct. Right now, we have a concept that Chris Herman presented. We're gonna, if you accept that concept, we're gonna go back to Troon and verify costs and see if it's within the budget we already approved. And if not, we'll bring it back to council for further discussion.
So we're not approving the actual deployment or implementation of these designs into cart paths and moving of greens, et cetera. What we're doing is we are approving the plan to then go and hear back from you as to whether or not it's within the scope of the budget.
That sounds correct, yes.
Or we could we could pass the plan contingent on it being within budget, and if it's not within budget, they have to bring it back. How would that be?
I agree. Anything that's inclusive with the original plan for the redesign, it needs to be clear on what is going to be an extra and what is not going to be an extra.
Yeah.
And if it's, we need to know and the residents need to know.
So let me restate the motion then. The motion is to approve the recommendation of enhancements to the area surrounding the Indian Wells Golf Resort Pavilion, et cetera, as recommended by the Golf Resort Committee, with the contingencies that the Troon logo on the flag be removed, and that
The scope of work.
the
is in the
scope of work would be within the approved budget, and if it's not within the approved budget, then it must come back to council.
And is not going to eat contingency. It's not going to come out of the contingency.
Out of the original budget.
The contingency of the 700,000, there was
Without the
a
contin-
separate line item put in there for improvements outside the scope of the project. So there was a small amount of money for improvements to provide for this, these amenities.
So I'm,
Outside of, yeah, go ahead.
so this is discussion now.
Yes.
I think the confusion is whether or not these enhancements are within the original budget of $12.2 million that we approved for the golf course redesign, or whether you're talking about it being taken out of the contingency budget or additional budget that was approved for outside enhancements.
So let me try and break it down. So there can be certain components of the project that are within the original $12.2 million, including like the putting green that you see there. In relocating that, we're just going to confirm that there's no additional cost to relocate that in order to preserve the wedding space. Okay. There is a fire road already in there, and those things are part of that $12.2 million. The council also provided an additional $150,000 to the scope of the project for improved landscape around the pavilion area, course clocking, et cetera, as part of this project. So as long as we're not exceeding that, we would come back to the council if for any reason we exceeded that 150,000.
Okay.
We will not touch the additional 700,000 contingency
There-
for any of these improvements.
There you go.
That'll
So-
help you out.
Hi, Mayor Whitman, if I may, sorry to interrupt, but I do have a speaker card, so if you want, before you make any votes, can we take that comment?
Is it on this particular topic? Yeah, okay, let's hear the public comment.
Mr. Mayor, do you want to have a discussion about the sand though first real quick then, or not? So that way the public is.
Okay, yeah, let's,
But before we move on to that, let's take a step back and look at what is driving this enhancement for the pavilion area. And I'll take at least partial responsibility for what you see before you, based upon my experience of attending 3 weddings at the pavilion. The pavilion is a cash cow. It is a major revenue driver of the golf resort. And invariably, when a wedding is taking place, there are golfers who are not only within view, but can sometimes cause minor disruptions to the experience that the guests at the wedding are having. So we really need to enhance the integrity of that site so that people who are spending tens of thousands of dollars for a wedding, for example, have the optimum experience. And this whole wedding business has become extremely competitive. So we have to make the pavilion the best venue possible for weddings. So as Chris says, the basic infrastructure that is incorporated into the bid package for the players course is already within this design here, so it should be a minimal expense.
Mayor and council, if I may, just real quick, just to keep things real clean procedurally, could I recommend that we have staff finish the presentation, both parts, including sand. You take public comment on, well, you can ask questions of staff and then take public comment. And then,
Go back to the recommendation.
then during your deliberation, you can divide your deliberation
and vote.
and have a
into
separate
two.
vote if you like. But that would be the cleanest.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, so at this point, we do have a motion and a second on the first part,
We'll
but we not have a vote
ignore
yet.
those. We'll ignore
So-
those for now and finish with the presentation. And you need to have public comment before you make a motion.
Okay, no, Okay.
We need to, revoke the motion. And the second. Is what he's saying.
Okay.
And did I make the motion?
No, I think I made the motion. I'll withdraw the motion until
Put
after.
it on pause.
Yeah,
There you
okay.
go.
So, Mr. City Manager, do you have a report on the sand issue?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do. So in addition to the other enhancements that we've been discussing, the council also expressed an interest to have the Golf Advisory Committee make a selection on the bunker sand to be placed in part of the redesign of the players course. The bid package included a 50-50 sand mixture. As part of this, the members of the committee actually went out to the Vintage Club and visited the site, which actually has two types of sand there, the 50-50 mix, which is being proposed or was in the bid package, as well as a 75-25 mix. And that 75-25 mix is whiter sand. It's 75% Augusta white, 25% desert sand. And the committee is recommending the whiter, the 75-25 sand, because it provides a more beautiful aesthetic pop to the course. They found that it was very attractive at the Vintage Club, and they think it'd be a great addition to this project. There's more information on the discussion on the two mixtures contained in the staff report. Why I said the project was bid at 50-50 mixture, because it was bid at the 50-50 level, and we're changing the scope of the project to 75-25. Council direction to staff was, if there's a change of the scope of the project, to bring that back for council just for your ratification and approval. And that's what we are doing here today. And that is your approval to do a change order, administrative change order, to do the 75-25 rather than 50-50. And the additional $50,000 cost, initially we were talking about bringing that out of the contingency fund. However, since the publishing of this agenda item, we do have the funds within the current budget, and no additional appropriation or use of contingency fund is necessary. So with that, I want to make sure it's clear, no additional funds are needed, just your approval to change the scope of the project. And with that, that concludes our report.
So to clarify, no additional funds will be taken out of the general fund or the contingency of the budget for the redesign. It will be incorporated into the original $12.2 million
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
budget. Okay. Any other discussion? All right.
Public.
It's time for a public comment.
We have Douglas Hanson.
Yes, Mr. Hanson. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Here before you, to give you my words of wisdom and a historical perspective on issues goes on in the city. First of all, I find it ironic. Hello, I find it ironic that the previous item on the agenda was to increase the sales tax in the city. And then the next item on the agenda is to spend somewhere between 15, 13, $20 million on the renovation of a golf course that, in my opinion, and a number of other people's opinion in the city, that does not need to be renovated to that extent. So you're spending a hell of a lot of money on renovating a golf course that does not need to be renovated to the extent that you are planning to do so. And then you're going to turn around and tax the citizens of Indian Wells through a sales tax. But that's okay. Moving on. Having been on the city council when we entered into the contract with Troon, one of the things that the council at the time and the residents wanted to preserve was the integrity of the iconic name Indian Wells on the golf course. Dana, I applaud you. Mr. Whitman, I applaud you also for moving to remove the Troon name off of those flags, because the one thing that was stressed at the time we entered into the contract with Troon was that we did not want this golf course to become a quote unquote Troon golf course. We wanted it to be an Indian Wells Golf Resort golf course, and Troon as simply the manager of that golf course. But over the years, what has happened is that Troon has continued to erode the iconic name value of Indian Wells and replacing it with Troon to become just another Troon golf course in the great number of golf courses that they manage, of which I think maybe they own at least one or two of those golf courses. So think about that when you're going forward. Also, probably I'm running out of time, but if you go back quickly and show a picture of the flags and the T markers, can you do that? Pull that up quickly.
There you go.
I was at the Golf Resort Advisory Committee. If you look at the right-hand side, the T marker that is a triangle, and there was a discussion at that meeting to talk about if you were to raise that T marker, increase the size there on the right-hand side. There you did it. It becomes an arrowhead, or at the top of the arrow, instead of just being a triangle.
Right.
If you're going to approve that,
Talking about like adding a notch here.
yeah, thanks, Topher. It symbolizes the arrow in the city rather than just a triangle. So if you're going to approve this today, think about that when you're approving.
So that's added, that, you agree with that depiction right there?
No,
Because
no.
Wants the notch on top.
The notch on top.
Bruce, yeah, the marker, just make it look like.
Like an arrowhead.
Put it there.
I see.
And now you've got an arrow.
Just an arrow, not an arrow in a triangle.
No, it's the arrow. Makes it the triangle an arrow rather than just a triangle. And now it continues to symbolize what we have all over the city that's behind you here. It would look exactly, Dana, like the arrow right there, and that would be the T marker, rather than cutting off that top edge and just being a triangle. So,
And that was discussed at the golf committee.
and that was discussed. Yeah, it was discussed, and then quickly someone said, "No, we don't want to do that. We'll just make it a triangle."
Was there a reason
something to
why
think
they didn't
about.
want to do it?
I
Huh?
don't remember them saying they didn't want to do it.
No,
Was it?
I thought it was actually
I thought actually we did vote for that.
yeah.
It looks,
It was.
to me, it looks like we're selling martinis to me. My perspective, I'm hoping that our sales go up for martinis because to me, it looks like a martini glass. That's just my opinion for what it's worth. So.
Well, I do think we approved that at the meeting.
Yeah, there's no
That-
question.
And so the actual depiction there is not accurate of what we approved at the meeting, I believe. Now, I wasn't voting on it, but I was present like you were.
Yeah.
And my recollection is that we approved that.
Yeah, mine too.
Well, it's not describing it.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's
Thank you.
it's not there. So
Thank you.
anyway,
What do we say to that, Mr. City Manager? Is that correct or?
We'll reconfirm with Trim, but if that's what the committee said, and regardless of what the committee said, if that's what the council wishes, we'll make sure they incorporate that design.
So it looked like this,
Yeah.
with a stick.
yeah, exactly. That's okay. Listen, thank you very much. For
Thank you,
indulging.
Mr. Hanson. Okay.
I can't remember when you agreed with me and I agreed with you ever before. Happy Valentine's Day.
Do we have any other public comments, Ms. City Clerk?
No, I don't.
We don't. Okay. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to split this into two different motions, seconds, and discussions and votes, correct? Mr. City Manager?
If that's the will of the council,
I think
absolutely.
that's what we're going to do. Okay, let's start with the staff recommended enhancements to the area surrounding the Indian Wells Golf Resort Pavilion and the other design features, with the addition that that with the contingency number one, that all of these changes be within the budget or enhancement budget of the golf resort design budget, and that the the flag stick the T markers be designed as an arrow rather than as behind us rather than as shown on the screen, and that the Troon designation be taken off the flag.
Mr. Mayor, I'll second that if you'll agree that as a part of the motion, if there are any additional costs above and beyond regarding the enhancements around the pavilion, that those costs come back to the city council for consideration.
I do agree with that.
Okay, second the motion.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. The recommendation passes 5-0. Okay, next let's go to the sand change. I was at the Golf Resort Committee meeting, and there was a unanimous recommendation to approve the 75-25 bunker sand blend. So do we have a motion to approve that recommendation?
With the additional $50,000.
The additional $50,000, assuming that it comes out of the original budget,
Not
and
the contingency.
and not any contingency.
So I approve it with it being inclusive of the original contract.
So does anyone want to make the motion? Or did I make the motion? Does anyone want to make the motion?
So move.
Second? I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The recommendation, motion to approve the recommendation passes 5-0. Okay, city council member reports. On their own initiatives, council members may make a brief announcement or a brief report on their own activities. First is item J1, Councilmember Sanders' request to place a discussion item on a future city council agenda, city manager settlement authority. Councilmember Sanders.
This issue came up a few weeks ago. We had a claim against the city that was fairly de minimis. I think it was like $2,500. So because we don't have a policy in place in terms of authority vested in the city manager to settle small claims, this came to the city council. My view is that we give the city manager the authority to spend up to $25,000 without city council approval. And I think settling small claims should fall within that same scope of authority. Otherwise, what happens is you've got staff time that's taken up. You've got a staff report that has to be written. It then has to come to the council in closed session. And I just think that it's a wheel spinning operation that's not necessary. I'm personally confident that we have enough risk management experience within the staff. We also have the JPIA, our insurance, basically our insurance company that we can consult with. And so I think this would be an appropriate thing to do.
And you're asking that this be put on a future agenda.
Correct.
But with more meat on the bone as you've just described.
That's exactly right.
I'll second that.
Any discussions?
No discussion.
Any discussion?
My only comment is we don't want to step over dollars to pick up nickels.
Okay, so I'm not sure I agree. I'd like to have more discussion at a future meeting. I'm not sure that $25,000 is.
Oh, I'm not making a specific recommendation on the amount. I'm just making an analogy to the expenditure authority that we've given the city manager. That's all.
I don't know whether, I think we should discuss this at a future meeting. You know, I think we do have to make some considerations of, what city council knows and what they don't know. And I think city council should be aware, even of small claims, because it's not just the money, it's the issue. And we should know what the issue is and how it's being resolved by the city. And so I think it's worthy of more discussion on a future city council agenda. So I think the motion and second has been made to place it on a future city council agenda. Any other discussion?
I just want to say that I've deliberated, trying to understand the actual recommendation prior to the council, and a claim is different than a lawsuit. A claim is something that results in kind of the closure of a settlement. The difference between something that insurance has either not agreed to pay for or has agreed to pay for a portion of which there's maybe a remaining left over. So to me, this is, if it's going to cost us, $5,000 in services for a claim of $1,000, then that makes no sense. So that's why I would suggest that we, deliberate this at a future city council meeting and proceed accordingly.
Mayor and council, if I may.
Yeah.
That's right. That's exactly the question that's before the body today, is whether to put it on a future agenda for discussion. It sounds like there's at least a majority that's interested in that. The clerk and I are a little vague or foggy on who made the motion in a second. Could we just clarify that?
I made the motion.
Okay, so Councilmember Sanders made the motion.
Councilmember Reed, did you make the second?
I really can't remember, but I'll accept it. I'll
Does somebody want to claim it?
accept the burden.
Okay, so we'll put that on a future city council. Will we have any staff report on this, or is this just something that council will put on another agenda?
Certainly, we'll bring back a greater description. We'll have our risk manager being a part of that discussion as well. We can try a policy or wait for direction and then do a policy a following meeting after the next meeting. It's up to the council.
And I think it would be interesting to know what other cities' policies are if we can find that out as well.
So, so that was a motion and a second by, I didn't catch who, to put it on a future.
Second by Councilmember Reed.
That's right. That's right.
All in favor?
And all in favor. Yeah, we need a vote.
All in favor.
Aye.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if we,
Motion passes 5-0. Yes.
Mr. Mayor, we do need to go back to I-3 real quick.
Yes.
One of the things that was not part of the recommendation is to make sure we find that the project be exempt from the provisions of the California Environmental Quality Act.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Okay, so now let's go to J2. This is Councilmember Taylor's request to place a discussion item on a future city council agenda, modification of the official city seal. Dr. Taylor.
So, in the spirit of our city being the home for golf and tennis, and using that as our brand, especially with regard to the Coachella Valley and Palm Springs, marketing committee, et cetera, I was looking at I actually read our new document that describes our general plan. And I was pleased to see that the word tennis and racket sports now are throughout that document, whereas the previous one, 26 years ago, really only referred to golf. So also was surprised when I started looking into our history of our seal, that in fact the official seal is kind of like a black and white stamp. And not the color shield with the palm tree. Do we have a picture of that? So I was surprised to see that the one on the left is our official seal, not the one on the right. And the one on the right is fabulous, but it should add a tennis player, I think, to the right of the palm tree. It's a relatively innocuous thing, but on the other hand,
Right of the palm tree?
yeah, we have a golfer on the right.
No.
However you're looking at it.
You mean, we're going to put it to the
Stage
left
right.
of the palm tree?
Stage right. Okay, fine. To the left of the palm tree.
I second the motion that this would be subject to a discussion.
Yeah, and that way, we get a design sample in for us to look at, which is it would spend no more than $2,000.
All right, so the motion is to bring this to a future meeting,
Second.
and I think that
The design element.
with a design brought back to us at that time for an expenditure of less than $2,000.
A second.
I do have a question.
Okay.
Okay. I love the idea, but the city seal, correct me if I'm wrong, is that an embossment seal on paper? How are we going to implement a colored embossment seal?
As we seek out for vendors, that's something that I would send out to see if it's.
So that's something that can be
I can
done.
look
Okay,
into that, yes.
it's not, so it would go
I will
through,
bring it back.
okay,
It
thank
could
you.
be a stamp. It doesn't necessarily have to be a colored emboss. We do some embossing on the proclamations today.
Okay.
So we'll coordinate it.
It's just clarity. That's all
Certainly.
that's all I'm looking for. Thank you.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 So that will be brought back to a future meeting. Go to item J3. Councilmember Taylor requests to place a discussion item on a future city council agenda, fiscal policy manual revisions. Councilmember Taylor.
Right. So, in the spirit of our going to the California State Cities Convention and being certified in a number of things and hearing best practices from cities throughout the state of California, there's a strong recommendation, especially on significant contracts such as legal or legislative initiatives, public relations, communications, and auditing, that our policy, which is currently, I believe, 5 years, and allows the city manager to extend those terms if there is no significant reason not to. Should be reviewed and potentially sent, I suppose, to the Finance Committee for policy redirection language that suggests a 3-year review RFP process for those specific contracts and a and not allow an automatic renewal by the city manager.
Well,
Yes.
for purposes of discussion, I will second this, but I would like to discuss it.
Yes,
And
okay.
before we begin with this discussion, I just want to note that for items J1 and J2, there were no comment cards received for those items.
Okay.
So before we take any discussion matters, after taking questions from staff, if we can open up public comments, just in case.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
Well,
right.
Then we should do this with the same thing with J3. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So is any public comment
No
at
comments.
this time?
No.
All right. So for discussion purposes, we have a motion and a second.
Right.
And does anybody have any discussion about this?
Yes.
Dana does.
I do.
Okay.
I think this is really important, and I know this has come up a number of times in my 11 years or 10 and a half years or 10 and a third years on the council. And I applaud Council Member Taylor for bringing this up. It is, however, something that needs not to be done precipitously. I'm glad you brought it forward, and I seconded your motion with the hope that we could agree that that the meeting at which this will be discussed will be the strategy session, which is much less formal and will give us an opportunity to really have a give and take. We're not on a podium. We're down in the main floor with the residents. And when is the strategy session, Madam Clerk?
April.
April 17.
April
17.
April 17th. I'm hoping that the maker of the motion would agree that this could be heard and deliberated at the April 17th strategy session meeting, because I really think it is important, and I would like to hear a robust discussion.
Before
Yes,
Councilmember Taylor responds, just a point of clarification. Did I hear you correctly that you wanted this referred to the Finance Committee before it comes back to the City Council?
If that's the correct committee, I believe it is, for them to set forth some policy language around the subject.
I think that's a positive idea.
I think I agree with, do you have any comment?
No,
Mr. Bennett?
I'm just listening at this point.
I agree with Councilmember Reed that this is a matter of great importance. And rather than sending it to finance, which has quite a bit of other duties between now and April, I think we should have an ad hoc to take a look at it with Dr. Taylor and Councilmember Reed to review this and bring it back to us.
Could we do it, could we also have finance committee? I mean, we have until April, if assuming you'll
17th.
agree, we have until April 17th. We could give it to the finance committee as well as the ad hoc committee, and we could make sure that we have as much input as possible.
I don't think that's a problem, but
And I'll make that part of my second if you'll make that part of your motion. Good, thank you.
So the motion now includes that this request go to the finance committee.
Which was already in there. It was already in the
and
motion.
to create,
An
I'm
ad
not
hoc.
sure why an ad hoc committee and the finance committee. To me, that's double.
Okay,
uh,
I'll buy you a beer.
Mr. Mayor, I think staff and legal counsel probably recommend that you just pick one.
Yeah, let's,
In order to preserve the Brown Act and that as well.
yeah.
well, I believe then that Dr. Taylor is not on the finance committee, and I think as he has brought this up, I believe that we should have an ad hoc with him and another member. And since Councilmember Reed thought it was of great importance, I would recommend Councilmember Reed if you're.
Okay, so let me understand this. Why are we delaying this? What's the purpose of the delay?
The delay is, this has been percolating for a number of years, and I don't think it's something that we can or should decide at the February meeting, or we're in the February meeting, at the March meeting, because it does have long-term effect, positive, perhaps, hopefully, possibly negative. I don't know. I want staff to be able to talk to some of the vendors and to see how they would respond to a 3-year RFP as opposed to a 5-year RFP. And we are a contract city, so we have lots and lots and lots and lots of contracts. And it's important. And I'm just saying, I just don't think we're going to be ready. I'm not going to be ready to make a decision, yes or no, at the March meeting.
So again, the issues that I'm calling into specific attention are, let's say, legal services, and this is no comment on the quality of their service at all. But we have had, I believe, this BBK in place since what?
2004?
2004, or does it go back to further than that? 2004?
All right, but see, are you?
Hold on, and then the government affairs, the Gonzalez, goes back to 2010, and it's not clear to me. See, Trepepi Smith goes back to 2018, and so and to the best of my research, looking at this prior to coming here, there was not an RFP for Trepepi Smith. There was not an RFP for government affairs. And and I do not believe there's been a recent RFP for legal. And these are three significant expenses. The marketing committee, the marketing contract is $8,000 a month. The legal committee, the legal service is $27,000 a month, and the government affairs is $3,500 a month. And I would like to understand best practices of other vendors that are potentially in the marketplace to make sure the city's getting its absolute finest service out of its particular vendors. So the request, again, is no comment about the vendor services, but rather simply a 3-year RFP for those particular contracts and the ability not to have them be automatically renewed.
Well, but there are others besides those three that would that ought to be considered at the same time.
Okay.
And I think I mean, what the three that you've identified are all personal services contracts. And I would suspect that there are others that need the same thing. And I mean, if you want to do the three, Well, that's up to you, but I think we should look at it more holistically as to all of the contracts, whether it be for maintenance of street maintenance or landscape maintenance or whatever, any of these things that require um, people to perform services during the period of their contract.
Can I strongly urge that we create an ad hoc committee, and I think Dr. Taylor should be one of them. And if Councilmember Reed does not want to be on the committee, that's fine. Maybe, I don't know, one of the other two council members
Well,
could be on the committee, the ad hoc committee, and really take your time and take a look at all of these things. It's a complicated issue and an important issue. And then the ad hoc committee come back and report to us sometime before the April strategic planning meeting.
well, my response is we have a finance committee for a reason. It's a standing committee, and it has certain jurisdiction that I think encompasses this subject. But look, in terms of whether it's an ad hoc committee or the finance committee, I don't have a dog in that fight. I'm just pointing out that if we're going to honor the procedural system that we have in place, it would logically go to the finance committee.
May I ask our council, under the circumstances, does it have to go to the finance committee or could we have an ad hoc?
It doesn't have to go to the
I'm
finance.
asking council.
Mayor and council, no, it does not have to go.
No.
Okay.
It's at the council's discretion.
I would like to chime in. Okay. So what I'm hearing is you're, Dr. Taylor, you're proposing a policy change, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And with a policy change, you want to do RFPs on all different contracts, and they all have different commencement dates and end dates. So some are 10 years, some are 5 years. I've just briefly looked at them. If we do that, and we do get capitulation from our vendors to go ahead and do a 3-year review, it could backfire, and we could end up doubling what we're paying for services without doing a quality check. Does that make sense?
No.
You could open Pandora's. I'm new at this, so I'm looking at a policy change. If we do a review on one contract, and let's just call it $100,000 contract. It's a 10-year contract. If you do a 3-year review and you want to undo that contract or amend that contract,
That's not the issue.
what
The issue
then
is
that's
whether
why I'm
we should-
trying to understand here.
Yeah, the issue is, and of course your point's well taken and we could discuss that at the strategic planning. The issue I think right now is whether we send it to an ad hoc committee or to the finance committee for further review and then back to council at strategic planning for discussion and and a vote really. Or we could even defer a vote until a later council meeting. But I think Mr. Reed's comment is well taken, that a good time to do this would be at strategic planning when we're talking about broadly policies, and I think that's right. But in the meantime, we need to gather a lot of information, and we need some discussion between people that can get on it without having to do it during the middle of at the dais on the council meeting. So I think there should be an ad hoc. I think Dr. Taylor has brought this up, and he should be on the committee that reviews this. And whether it's Mr. Reed, Mr. Sanders, Mr. Penna is the other person, I don't really have a dog in that fight. I was suggesting Mr. Reed because Mr. Reed thought it was a very important issue and has some ideas on it. But that's my if it's a motion to send it to an ad hoc or.
Well, Mayor and council, it just procedurally, I think we have a pending motion that would send it to the finance committee, if I'm not mistaken, Dr. Taylor.
That's correct.
It was seconded by Reed. It's been discussed. You can hold a vote on that, or someone can make a substitute motion.
I will make a substitute motion that that the matter be discussed and decided, or discussed at least, further discussed at the strategic planning meeting in April.
That's part of the motion.
Yes, sorry, that is part of the motion.
Not part of the motion. It is
Ad hoc.
committee.
So I would offer an alternate motion that it be sent to a ad hoc committee with Dr. Taylor as one of the members of the ad hoc committee before it goes back to strategic planning. That's the alternate motion. Do I have a second?
Is that an alternate motion or a substitute motion?
Substitute motion.
Thank you.
Do I have a second? I do not. So we go back to the original motion.
Move the question.
It just means we vote.
We have a motion and a second, so
Yes.
now we have a vote.
Yes.
All in favor, let's have a poll on that.
Councilmember Sanders?
Yes.
Councilmember Penna?
I'm going to abstain.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Reed?
Yes.
Mayor Whitman?
No.
Would
Okay.
you- would you announce the result, please?
The result is 3-1 and 1 abstain in favor of the recommendation.
So the motion passes.
The motion passes.
Thank you.
Next item is Council Member Taylor requests to place a discussion item on a future city council agenda, sponsorship policy. Dr. Taylor.
This again goes to fiscal prudence and responsibility. The request is to shore up the current language in our sponsorship policy demanding, without equivocation, that any sponsorship that we provide in our community is followed up with data around the success of or not of the deployment of our funding for the sponsorship. In other words, we can't just automatically renew sponsors without receiving data on the success or failure of our sponsorship.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion?
Public comment?
Oh, do you have public comment? Yes. You can just come on up.
Dr. Taylor, thank you for bringing these issues before the city council, and especially this issue. Gentlemen, in my opinion, humble as it is, that last item on the agenda, you went so far in whatever. The only item on the agenda for that was to decide whether to bring it back to a council, to put it on a future council agenda. You debated the issue. I don't know where we stand on the Brown Act for that issue, but I'm sure there were some serious violations going on in that discussion. As it is with
Counsel?
this issue. He doesn't have to respond now. It's my opinion.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, it's just my opinion. Who am I? I'm just this issue is the same way. The issue here is to bring it back to the city council to discuss all of those things which you discussed on the last item, in which you can debate all day long. But do you want to bring this item back to a future city council meeting?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
That's all. That's all it is. And that's all the last issue was. And I think you should confine yourself to those issues, because you went off the rails on the last one, gentlemen. In my opinion, I mean, after all, the city attorney allowed you to do it, so must be good.
Okay.
Moved and seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Wait a
Mr.
minute.
Mayor,
Oh,
down here, sorry. We asked prior to the meeting if Dr. Taylor was okay including a discussion on the extraordinary policy. We had not gotten direction previously, and there was some discussion to do some changes to that. I don't know if you want to include that or not, Dr. Taylor.
I don't understand the question.
No? Okay.
I don't understand the question either.
In meeting, we were talking about making some amendments to the extraordinary policy for the sponsorships that we do when they exceed.
Oh, right. So in other words, it's It's not just the policy for sponsorships, but it's the same language in the extraordinary policy language as well. So it's both.
Oh, that's what's, if it's $1 million or over,
Right.
it's 250,000.
It's the same issue, but for
Yes,
both,
all sponsorships, including that. need to
all
be reviewed.
sponsorships, including extraordinary policy.
Yeah, with the seconder agree. You agree?
Yes, of course.
Seconder
We
agree.
just want to make sure that was clarified in there.
For the clarity.
All right, any other discussion?
I just want to say it's a very good idea to do this.
Well, I just want to remind people I've been talking about this for what, like 8 years, but thank you for bringing it to it, finally getting it somebody's attention. Okay, anyway, that was enough. I shouldn't have said that.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Passes 5-0. Okay, section K, council members' comments. Council members may ask a question for clarification, make a referral to staff, or take action to have staff place a matter of business on a future agenda. The council may take action on items listed on the agenda. And we have council member reports as well. Are there any other action items that anybody would like to bring up at this time to put on a future agenda?
Yeah, but yes, but I'm going to put this as, you want me to do it now or during my,
You can do it during your
I'll
time.
do it during my time.
Okay. We'll start with council member Sanders.
Thank you, Mayor. I attended my first meeting of the Coachella Valley Animal Campus Commission, and I was going to make a joke that it's gone to the dogs, but I won't.
God.
Actually, it's a very important commission, and there are very strong feelings on every side of the issue as it relates to the animal shelters that we have in Riverside County. And I think former Councilman Peabody, who is in the back of the room, who has been very active in this arena, will attest to that. What I see is the county, through Supervisor Perez, finally recognizing that there's a problem and that it needs to be resolved. And I want to commend Councilman Peabody for his perseverance over quite a few years in getting the county to finally recognize that something has to be done. With respect to the Cove Community Service Commission, we have just taken the first steps toward what could be something very beneficial for all three cities who are members of the commission, and that is to look and see areas where we can cooperate in ways that will save each of the cities money. Acquisition of goods and services that all three cities have to do, where if we combine, we can get better deals because of quantities, things like that. And now that the city of Palm Desert has buttressed its public safety budget, there may be another opportunity to revisit the Matrix study, which was completed in about 2020, as I recall, which is a concept whereby police services can be shared and cost savings accrued to the cities that participate. So we'll see where it goes. That's all I have.
Councilmember Penna.
Okay. First, visit Greater Palm Springs. It was a few weeks back. It was an amazing event. I was unsure on what the program was, and it was delighted how much camaraderie there is there amongst all the cities here in the valley. They're doing a fantastic job. They actually have outreach of over 30 billion across all platforms representing our valley. So we're getting a tremendous value with Visit Greater Palm Springs. Second, the Indian Wells Preservation Foundation that we partner with, they're having a Petrie House fundraiser at the end of this month, Friday, February 28th. So I just want to bring that to everybody's attention. It is the 1964 William Cody designed Spanish ranch house, so it should be a great event. They're going to have libations and everything to go with it. So that should be a good event for everybody. Also, I attended my first Coachella Valley Mountains Conservancy meeting, and that was another amazing committee to be on. A lot of camaraderie between cities there, especially with all the land that they're purchasing and cleaning up in our valley. They do have a shortfall coming this June with the state budget cuts, so I would like to put something on our next agenda so we could discuss possibly supporting the Mountains Conservancy. I'm not sure if it's a 501(c) or a 501(c), if we're allowed to do that, but if we could discuss it, that would be great. Lastly, the Community Activities Committee, this is their Wellness Week, and it's going well. I wasn't really briefed on what's happening there, but we have at the end of the season event coming up, so those are the updates I have on that for now. Thank you.
Just for clarity, are you making a motion to discuss the Coachella Valley Mountain Conservancy as a budget item at a future meeting?
Yes, Mayor.
Okay. Any second to that?
Well, I'll second it, but I think it should be part of the budget. Do you have do you have a proposal?
I do not have a proposal. I don't know if we've ever supported the Conservancy prior to, so I just wanted to bring it forward because I know they're in a deficit issue with coming up, and I just wanted to have a discussion about it.
And will you be prepared to discuss it?
I will.
Oh, fine. Well, then, of course.
Would you like any staff?
If we could do a staff report, if it's viable for us to give support, that would.
Are you talking about financial support?
Yes, sir.
And you'll come to us with a recommendation and the amount and et cetera, and what they're going to do with the money.
Yes, sir.
Fine.
All right, so we have a motion, a second to discuss Mountain Conservancy. I guess as a budget item or as a contribution, or I don't know.
Depending on if it's a nonprofit, yeah, we need a staff report on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can Mr. City Manager, can we do a brief staff report on that issue before?
Oh, certainly. We'll work with Councilmember Penn on that.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Vote. All in favor? Aye. Any noes? No. The motion passes 5-0. All right, Councilmember Taylor.
RCTC was canceled until the retreat next week. Public safety was interesting. I think that one of the we should add to our discussion at the retreat for a legislative agenda item, a couple of things. One is improving the stability of the 911 system in Coachella Valley. Evidently, there have been a number of long lapses, and we need to push for funding to create stability there. The second thing that we should probably add is discussion about an EOC for maybe the Cove cities, or at least locally here, because the only EOC we have is in Riverside, and a backup is out in Indio. So I think it's appropriate for us to potentially add those two items to a legislative agenda.
Help me what an EOC is.
Yeah. It's an emergency center, basically. In the case of a major earthquake, for example, or fire, it's a place for people to go. And therefore, it's a important conversation to have.
Absolutely.
So are you proposing that we add this to the
strategic-
strategic planning?
Correct.
Do we
Both
need to vote on
items.
that, or can we just put that on the agenda for the strategic planning?
Without objection, we'll just go ahead and put it on there with the council.
Okay.
Fine.
Thank you. And then on the the other thing I thought was fascinating is that I went to a strategic plan for Cal State University San Bernardino, and I thought there was a very interesting data point worthy of sharing, which is 1 in 10 people working in the state of California touch the California state school system. 1 in 20 in the United States of America do.
Wow.
So their budget in the California attempt to align costs have been dropped substantially. So just as an FYI, they're being asked to do a lot more with very little.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Reed.
I was not able to attend the Housing Committee meeting today because I was representing the city at the CVAG Energy and Sustainability Committee. And I'm really glad that I was there because we had a presentation from the South Coast Air Quality Management District, AQMD, with their new proposal to phase out gas water heaters and furnaces and stoves in the South Coast area, which is LA, Orange, San Bernardino, and Riverside County. And according to Supervisor Perez, who was present at the meeting and is the county's representative on AQMD, is that this is a precursor to a mandatory retrofit of both businesses and houses to phase out all natural gas uh, uh, energy sources. They, as part of their proposal, they are allocating $21 million to help with a pilot program. Well, there's 21 million people in the SCAG area, and so that's $1 a person. For those people, those residents, and obviously businesses that use gas to cook their food or heat their house or heat their water, this is something that is coming down the road. And there was significant blowback at the meeting today because, quite frankly, with the exception of Supervisor Perez, who is on AQMD, and Council Member Ortiz from Indio, who's our chairman and is an active environmentalist. No one else in the room knew anything about this. And apparently, according to Supervisor Perez, they're scheduled to vote on this in March. There was a thought that maybe they might be rushing things. And I would like to, and Supervisor Perez is certainly going to try to slow things down and give more opportunity for public input. But we all understand that, to retrofit your house, to eliminate gas and make it all electric is not an insignificant expenditure. And there are quite a few people in our city and certainly throughout the county and throughout the SCAG area that can't afford this. But apparently there's $1 for everybody to get started. I'm asking staff to put this on the radar. Find out. By the way, there wasn't even a staff report from CVAG because the regulations itself only came out earlier this week.
So maybe we can add this to our legislative agenda as well.
Well, I don't know
discussion
if
at
it's
a
a
retreat.
legislative agenda. I don't, because this is not Sacramento or Washington. This is like downtown Los Angeles. And I guess what I'm saying is we're the smallest city in Riverside County and one of the smallest cities in Southern California. We can't do this on our own, but we can at least have our voice heard if we know what we're talking about. So I would like staff to get more information about this and determine how this, how this will affect the businesses and the residents of the city, and then come back to us with some recommendation as to whether we should take a position one way or the other, and work with the other cities that are obviously going to be very, very concerned about this.
So this is coming from where? Not from
EQM.
county, from
South Coast area,
South Coast Air Quality?
yeah,
Okay.
AQMD.
And it's a anti-fire measure? Is that,
No, it's pollution, primarily
Pollution.
pollution.
okay.
Councilmember Reed, you can tell them that they will have to fry my wife's gas stove from her cold, dead hands.
Well,
I think that's the kind of reaction most people who use gas stoves will have.
It doesn't sound to me like something that's likely to happen. But,
you, the staffer that made the presentation was very earnest in her advocacy of the program.
well,
And the chair of the CVAG Energy Committee was favorably inclined, but those were really the only two people in the room that,
So no representative from Southern California Gas was invited to this.
I don't know whether they were invited or not, but I mean, it was a public meeting,
anyway, so we'll ask staff to take a look at this and come back to us at some point in time with a report.
that would, oh, yeah, and a recommendation if there's anything, I mean, at the very least, I think we should probably take a position on it. No one's going to pay attention to it because we're so small, but we probably should at least try to protect our businesses and our residents to the best of our ability.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, so anything further, Mayor Pro Tem Reed?
No, sorry to take so long.
No.
But it was really quite shocking.
It is shocking. It's, I really don't have anything to report. CVAP was, our executive director, our CEO was ill for the meeting, and the executive committee meeting were both put off. Cove Communities, Councilmember Sanders has discussed. The Golf Advisory Committee, basically, I think we took a lot of time on what happened at that meeting. No need to go through that. We voted on it. So without further ado, unless anybody has any further comments or discussion points, City Manager, anything further? Council
No, Mr. Mayor.
members? Council will adjourn to a special scheduled meeting of the City Council to be held, and listen to this, 10 o'clock a.m. on March 6, 2025 in the City Hall Council Chamber,
10 a.m.
10 a.m. because of the tennis tournament. Adjourned.